It is a fight for the playoff lives. A play-in game, so to speak. For not just USC, but for Oregon as well. This game in Autzen Stadium, USC is tasked with doing something only one team has done since 2019, and that is beating the Ducks in Autzen Stadium. The winner of this game is more than likely going to the playoff. The loser, either one of them, very little chance. USC, there is none with a loss. I'm Dylan Hilder. This is the Dylan Hilder Show. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. Let's dive into the game of the week. So the 8-2 USC Trojans travel up to Eugene, Oregon to play the Oregon Ducks that are 9-1. USC's two losses coming to Notre Dame and Illinois, both on the road. While Oregon, their lone loss came in Autzen to Indiana. That being their first loss in Autzen, like I said earlier, since 2019. The USC Trojans are a 9.5 point underdog in this. The line opened at 8.5. It's gone up to 9.5, which is insane. And the over-under has soared to 59.5. Oh, this game is the CBS game, 3:30 Eastern. I mean, I get this is a tough matchup for USC. 9.5, though, I think is a bridge too far. You have to remember, this isn't the USC teams of the last 5 years. This team is a lot more physical. It's a lot more ground and pound than they have been over the last number of years. Lincoln Riley has done a tremendous job shifting the culture within USC. And being a head coach and shifting the culture like that from what you used to do to what you now do, all under the same regime, is incredibly impressive. And to have the kind of turnaround that he has, he's done a tremendous job. Oregon, they already have that brand of toughness. They already have that brand of grit. They proved it a few weeks ago against Iowa in Kinnick, in rainy, wet conditions and cold conditions. USC, they proved they got the toughness, they got the grit as they went up against Iowa in wet, rainy, not nearly as cold conditions. But this game is 100% a play-in game. Winner goes on, playing the playoffs. The loser goes home. They're not in the playoffs. With the kind of drop that we saw out of Alabama with the committee rankings, yeah, the loser of this game is not getting in. USC with a win, they are absolutely in. Unless UCLA does the absolute unthinkable. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Now, the actual spread itself, as it sits, as I'm recording this, at 4 in the morning. Yeah. One of those nights. So, if I'm a little yawny, and just ignore that. But nonetheless, 9.5, I think it's too much. I think Oregon wins this game. Um, Oregon's the better football team, but they're not in my opinion, they're not 9.5 points better. I think USC is going to be able to hang in there. I think they're going to be able to fight. They're going to make this a game. Um, it. I mean, like I said, USC, they do have that physical brand of offense to them. The trenches, they're a lot more physical than what they were. They're not quite up to Oregon, but they're a lot closer than what they were. Oregon, they have some injuries that they're dealing with. So, I mean, an outright upset is definitely in the cards here. Is it the most likely outcome? No. Is 72% a little high? Yeah, I would go more 60-40. I would be okay with 65-35, but 72-28 is insane. The 9.5 I think is insane. Now the over under, it's going up to 59.5. That I would go under here. The weather is seems to be a lot more comfortable. It just seems to be an overcast 51 degrees in Autzen. So I think 59.5. I still think it's a little high. Uh, win it out, go the under. Plain and simple, win it out, go the under. Now, taking a look at the Oregon offense, 11th in the country overall, 8th in rushing. Oregon defense rushing game is a little weak. I mean, they're still top 20 in the country, but compared to the rest of their numbers, first in passing, pass defense, third overall, sixth in points per game. USC, they got the fifth best offense in the country, according to overall yardage. And it translates into points, 38.2 points per game. USC defense, yeah, they're very middle of the road, 47th, 43rd, 63rd, 41st. I mean, that's why I'm not picking USC to win. But they're USC's they've gotten better and better and better over the weeks. And this game could very well be a culmination of what USC has been working towards. They they outmuscled Michigan. They outmuscled Iowa. Yeah, they lost to Illinois. Yeah, they lost to Notre Dame. But but those were halfway across the country. This is not all the way across the country. This is right on up the road. Comparing to their normal schedule these days, so to speak. So, like I said, I do think Oregon wins this game. I think 9.5 is a bridge too far. It's a little too much. I think the under is the best way to go. Uh, I think if Notre Dame's gonna cover that nine, or if Oregon is gonna cover that 9.5, Noah Whittingham, he's gonna have to have a career game. Uh, Dante Moore, he's absolutely capable of having a career game here. Then on the other side, Jaden has got to protect the football. He's USC's got to be getting into those third and manageable situations, much more so than Oregon. and Makai Lemon, they've got to scheme ways to get them open. If USC wants to pull off this upset, gonna gotta find a way to get the ball to Makai Lemon. Now, USC's keys to the game, what they need to do is they need to be able to do what they did against Northwestern, have sustain long, arduous drives. You're gonna need to be patient and really cater to your defense. Oregon, they gotta go. They gotta go right at the heart of that defense. They have to be able to finish drives. They have to come away with touchdowns. I think Oregon's gonna do that more times than not. Now, let's see. What else? What else? And Dante Moore, he doesn't. I don't think he has to have a career game here. If he just protects the ball, doesn't get aggressive, doesn't get too overly zealous, I should say, then Oregon is going to be in the playoffs. Now, the college football nerd model. Oregon, USC, they have a throttling 29-42. They have Oregon winning the cover, the over. And this is all on a neutral site. Now, like I was saying earlier, I think USC is slightly being slept on. Well, or what would this be? 12, 13 points? 13 points, it isn't. It's definitely within the realm of possibility. Is absolutely in the realm of possibility. But I think this game is actually going to be good. This is going to be a tight contest. USC, they're going to be fighting tooth and nail. They know that their playoff hopes are on the line here. They win, they are likely in. Oregon, do they realize the gravity of the situation? That if they lose, they are out, despite being a 2-loss team at that point? Who knows? But with this game, you can take away from what we learned a week ago in the SEC. Who won the two marquee matchups in the SEC 1 week ago? Kirby Smart and Brett Venables. Two defensive guys. You see, the college game hasn't quite caught up to the NFL yet as far as getting the offensive-minded genius, letting him be the quarterback whisperer, and then going out and winning games. College football hasn't quite caught up to that point yet. Last week showed that you can have a defensive head coach in college football and win a lot of games and potentially win championships. Now, granted, Kirby was the last defensive guy to win the national championship just under 3 years ago. Ryan Day, more of an offensive guy. Jim Harbaugh, former quarterback. And that, I don't think, is indicative quite yet of college football. And it is a indicator of where it's going, but I don't think we're quite there yet to where the pool has to be narrowed down to offensive-minded guys to be running programs. Will we ever get there? I don't know, just because college football off the gridiron is such a different mentality that I'm not 100% sure the college game is going to catch up to the pro game in that fashion, to where in the NFL you have to have an offensive guy, you have to have a guy that can work with quarterbacks, and then you have to have a quarterback, of course. But I don't think we're quite there yet. Last week kind of showed that with Kirby Smart beating Lane Kiffin and Brett Venables beating Kalen DeBoer. And that's the lesson to take out of this. The defensive head coaches, they're not quite dead yet. They're just in college. They're in the college ranks. And so, with that being said, Dan Lanning, former defensive coordinator at Georgia, I'm taking the Ducks to win. It's gonna be a great game. USC, they're not gonna be going away silently. I think this is gonna be a close, competitive matchup. The matchup does favor Oregon. The actual like matchup when you go X's and O's, they they do fairly well at what USC struggles, and a lot of that's going to be running the football. And if Oregon is going to blow them out, then Noah Whittingham had himself a career game. So we'll see what happens. See what happens. Yes, but give me the Ducks. Give me the Ducks outright. Give me USC with the points. And I'm going to take the under 59.5. That is my prediction on the betting lines. But gosh, I still can't. I'm just shocked that it went up. Usually with a line like that, it kind of comes down to 7.5, and then you'd be in that territory of considering Oregon. But we've seen throughout the year Lincoln Riley get a little bit more animated, so to speak. Last week, he was going nuts. Against Northwestern, he wasn't quite going nuts, but there was a game plan set out. That they were gonna do a physical style Big Ten football, and they were able to do it. They were able to beat Northwestern in the process, and I get Northwestern is in Oregon. I get that, but it's the system of which USC is operating in, and that offensive line, they're gonna have to have the game of their lives, each and every single one of them. Lot of guys in the in Southern Cal have to have career games to pull this off outright. Now, if they play normally, this ends up being a normal game. I think you're looking at 6-7 point difference. Now, granted, things can happen to where that balloons, but I think 9.5 is a little too steep for my blood. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any football or racing. And we'll see you all in the next one. Go Ducks. I want to be right.